Hi everybody, it's Tanya. It's raw and somewhat slightly blurred. Today I want to talk about boundaries, but let me first adjust the light here. Yeah, this is a little bit better. I want you to imagine you're a bartender at 12:30 at night. Your bar's pretty much empty. You have a couple on one side and maybe an old man on the other side. You're playing very loud music to keep things going, and all of a sudden a man comes in the bar and starts rocking out by the jukebox. You observe the man and you feel slightly uncomfortable. You feel like you don't want him to be there. He's also not a customer. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how to set boundaries and how to know your boundaries, and when you set boundaries using your body language and your voice. Have you thought about now what you were going to do in this situation that I just told you? Here's what I did. I turned off the music so the room went from really loud to silent. The man looked around and I instantly said, "Goodbye, have a great day, have a great day." And I smiled, I made it upbeat. And you know what? He left. It could have gone different. If I would have told him, "Hey, you need to get out of here," I would have instantly made the situation too intense. Now, setting boundaries with friends and family is a little different. It's a lot easier. It's kind of hard to say no to your mother, right? This is where we come, how to know your boundary. I want to tell you about my boyfriend and I. You know, when you meet somebody at your first dates, you don't really reveal all of you, and often you go along with what they're saying. You don't just tell them that you don't like hiking, for example, because you want them to like you. So when I met my boyfriend, I went along with pretending I believe Jesus is the Son of God. I ate almost expired Safeway meat, and worst of all, I slept in the room, in the same bed with him. That sounds pretty normal, but he snores. For 2 years, probably, I woke up angry and resentful and bitchy because I couldn't sleep. It took me a long time to admit that it was me that had the problem, and it was me that had to accept that my needs are okay to have. It's okay to want to have a good night's sleep, and I'm not young anymore. I don't like to sleep in bed with anybody, except for my dog. So after I communicated that to him, he understood. And let's just say I have a room in my own room in his house. He started shopping at Whole Foods, and we communicate much better. Another thing I want to tell you about, I want to go back to the bar. The bar is just an example. You can take this to any office or any other situation. It doesn't have to be a bar. Because I'm tattooed, a lot of men want to see my tattoos, and they always, come here, and I'm like, I'm here. And then, no, come closer, I want to look at your tattoos. And they lunge over the bar to reach for me. It's, for me, that is not appropriate. I don't like to be touched or looked at closely. So I tell the men, it makes me uncomfortable to be any closer to you. You can see my tattoos from here. You know, you have to really be able to sit with an uncomfortable situation Not everybody's gonna like you, but people amazingly respect you often more if you are clear about your boundaries. When as a bartender, I have to set boundaries when people get too drunk, and if somebody gets too drunk, I gotta start at a low level. I would say, I think you have to leave, or I think you had enough. Saying I think, and I don't raise my voice, I don't use falsetto. I think you had enough. It's very clear and short. If that doesn't work, I would suggest going a bit higher. The next level for me would be, no, really, you need to leave. And I make eye contact. Also important, stand up straight. You know how animals, when they communicate with each other, they use their bodies. Dogs, they puff up and show their teeth, and then do the low growls. Think of it like that. And now, the huge boundaries, other than calling the cops or getting into a fist fight, which you do want to avoid. The next level would be using maybe the F word, and I'm going to use it here. I'm going to alternate it. Get the fuck out of here. That's pretty harsh. And a gesture like this. So it's a little more aggressive with the body. Again, you stand straight. At times, I have pretended I'm gonna come around the bar, and most as a woman, there's a lot of advantages as a woman, and you have to know that most of the time a man will not fight you, and it's usually for me. I've never gotten into a fight. It has worked. So I want you to now. I want to sum it up for you. What have we learned? You have to get to know yourself. Getting to know yourself are your habits. What do you like to eat? Sometimes you've probably been there. You've gone in a restaurant with a boyfriend, and you order the same thing, or no, you want to order the same thing as him, because you're afraid whatever you order is not going to be as good as his, or you're indecisive. What do you want to go to eat? I don't know. What do you want to get to eat? Well, you have to make a decision sometimes. You don't want to always let other people decide what's good for you. Get to know your morning habits, how you feel. I live in North Beach. It's a busy touristy area. When I walk out of my house, there's people, there's tourists, there's restaurants, there are liquor stores. I don't feel lonely. I can open the door of my apartment. There's a backyard. It's nice. I'm not used to live in suburbia. Living in the Sunset in San Francisco, for me, feels like suburbia. You have to drive most of the time somewhere, unless you live in the inner Sunset. But I've lived there, and 3 long blocks down the hill are fine, but you have to come back up. And those 3 long blocks are very boring. That's one thing I got to know myself. even when I travel with people, I decide what I like first. I prefer to travel alone and with my own agenda and with the experience that I would want to have. I like to travel with somebody and share it, and I have done so this year. I've traveled with my friend Liz to Morocco, and it was great. And we got along. We spent 3 weeks in the same room with each other. We got along. We talked about what we need. She liked to have water to have water around all the time. She's a firefighter. She knows what dehydration will do to you. So I made sure that I was patient with her and got her water, or made her get her water. I went along with getting her water. And for me, it's snacks. When I travel, I feel like I need to have snacks because you never know where your next food comes from. Those are the things we committed. Thankfully, we both didn't snore, and I was really surprised. We got along great. We like our morning routine. I not once had any conflict. It was really fantastic. But if you don't also accept other people, here's another thing with communication and boundaries. If you don't accept other people and you put your boundaries on them, you're in big trouble. If I would not have accepted that my friend needed the water, it's like, oh, we don't need the water, she would have been mad at me and felt that I don't value her needs. And vice versa, and she wouldn't have been as accepting about my weird needs. Let me think of other. If you have other examples, please tell them to me. I know that relationships are the hardest. Whether it's friends, with my parents too. I finally made peace with my parents. They know when they come visit me that I need once in a while a little break. I get overwhelmed. I spend a lot of time alone, and I need that. So they let me have my little time alone or my little morning routine. They know that I like to have my coffee in the morning, checking my Facebook, cuddling with my dog. And they're like, oh no, we're okay. They know the city, and I have a great time traveling with them. We visit, we drive around the city. They've already been here a long time. So when, like last time we spent Thanksgiving together, and I had a great time. Boundaries with your dog. Let's think about that. I just recently got a puppy last year. I had a puppy for a while. This puppy is fantastic, I have to say. I was really lucky. But you have to also know your boundaries with your dog. You have to have the balance of, I want to make my dog have fun, but I also need to leave the dog alone once in a while. Not very, for example, now, like I have the dog is almost a year. I have my little routine. I get up. Actually, she puts some boundaries on me too. She wakes me at 6 o'clock. Doesn't matter if I worked late. And not because she has to go to the bathroom, because she wants to be fed. She starts licking me and about cute and annoying. And now I've already prepared the bowl. I just put my, so I just half asleep, walk over, open the door in case, open the front door, we have a backyard, in case she needs to go pee, give her food, go right back to bed and sleep longer. And you know what my dog does? My dog goes right back to bed after she sleeps with me. And then when I wake up, she has to wait because I'm going to have my coffee. That's my boundary. And my, I know it's a little boring, but you have to kind of set yourself routines for yourself. Routines and things that you need to do to make yourself comfortable. And I used to take the dog out before I go to the gym, but now, because I have a backyard, she can go pee-pee. I go to the gym first, and then it's puppy workout time. And the puppy gets a long workout. Now she's in the back somewhere sleeping. That's one thing, and you have to know that once in a while the puppy has, you can't be codependent on your dog. The puppy has to once in a while spend time alone. Not too long, because I mean you want your puppy to have a great time, or your dog. That's a really good balance to have with yourself in your life. That's all I can think of right now. I hope that helped and give you some insights. And I also want to sum it up with one thing. Think of boundaries that they start with a line. It's not just always a wall. It's a line, a hedge. A hedge is mendable. You can push it down a little bit. You can look through. And then like a wall, and then the wall gets harder or higher or thicker. And you also have to know that you can remove a boundary anytime that you like. You might feel different. You might want to put a big boundary up, and then 2 days later you're like, you know what, I can deal with this. And change your mind, and you're allowed to do that. So let yourself have fun in life, and don't restrict yourself with your own boundaries and your own stinking thinking. Thank you, and tune back next Thursday. I will write what I'm going to talk about. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in with Raw and Somewhat Slightly Blurred.